Gold or the dollar, or indeed the pound, whatever currency takes your fancy geographically where you are in the world. What's better? Well, I know a lot of gold bugs who would strongly say that gold is the better option right now. And quite frankly, so will I. You won't hear very much different on this channel. But I will also tell you that money, fiat currency, the stuff we hate, paper, that loses value every year, unfortunately is still a necessity, and it helps the world go round. And one day, I'll probably need more of this than I will of this as I wind down in our existence here on this planet. And don't worry, I'm firmly set within my middle age, so it could be a while yet. But I do think about that existence of gold within my personal life and portfolio. And will there ever be a time when I don't own any gold and get rid of it all for cash? Let's find out. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. Will I ever sell all my gold? Will I ever be without gold within my life and maybe change it up for some of this fiat currency, paper money? Often it's not even worth the paper it's written on these days, and it does seem that this stuff is devaluing faster than ever. Inflation continuing to be high in the UK, 3.8%, and you might be thinking, well, you can get 4.5% in your bank account interest, but remember you're paying some tax on that. You're losing money every year. That is true. It's just fact. This burns money every year. Useless. This stuff, however, polar opposite. And in my 9 to 10 years of stacking gold, I have seen firsthand the kind of wealth preservation that it can offer. But at the end of the day, we're all mortal and we've all got to face up to our mortality at some point. And maybe it's because I'm firmly set within my middle age right now and have a family and looking to the future generations that have done a few videos talking about inheritance lately. And you just feel like the question for me to ask myself is, will I truly ever be without gold and silver to a certain extent in my lifetime? Will I just one day cash out and disappear from the world of gold and silver and have a little bit more of this stuff in my bank account? Yes and no. And we're going to go into a lot of the details on this as we go throughout the video, some of my thoughts and ramblings on the subject. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about shiny things here on YouTube. So do bear that in mind. And I would, of course, love to know your thoughts on this situation. Are you a gold bug to the very end, to that bitter end? Will you just say goodbye to as much of this as possible? Unfortunately, this stuff does make the world go round, and it is a necessity. We do need money in the bank to pay our bills, to put food on the table often. Yes, there are some examples of paying for things with gold and silver, but realistically, in a practical way, that is not the case. But there is no doubt that this stuff is good, and that's why I can't really ever see myself with no gold, but at the same time, I'm gonna shuffle off my myrtle coil at some point, and then I will, of course, have left some of this gold to a future generation, and then therein lies some of the problems of inheritance and all of those other things that I've talked about in the past. So the main topic of today's ramble, though, is whether or not I can foresee a time when I would exit. Gold is at all-time highs. There is no avoiding that fact. It's great to see one's investments go up so much over a relatively short period of time. If we analyze this against the value of cash, for example, gold, I feel, has massively outperformed cash over the last 10 years. There have been some unprecedented global events that have happened over the last 10 years, starting with Brexit and then following into COVID. Then we've got various different wars kicking off all around the world, the instability of the world's economy, inflation, cost of living crises. There are just, it seems like there's something new every year that helps to keep devaluing the actual money in our bank accounts. And so from my perspective, gold has been used as a way to protect one's assets over that period of time. And it's done exceptionally well, especially over the last couple of years. And so that would say to me that really keeping hold of your gold is a good thing. And if I'm selling gold right now, I'm feeling a bit bad about the fact that I'm putting it into this stuff, which is still running at high inflation rates. And the craziest thing is that people are just following along with it. 99% of people don't know the real truth of what's going on. And being a gold bug really does open your eyes about that. More on that in a moment after today's video sponsor. Today, as history is unfolding right in front of our very eyes, with rate cuts, all-time highs for gold prices against a backdrop of China and Russia's gold development, I will show you a gold copper company which owns a project with a rich resource estimate on American soil, and it's trading around its 2023 IPO price with a relatively tight share structure of only 12.7 million shares issued and outstanding. Most importantly, this NASDAQ listed company is a US gold copper development opportunity from start to finish. Which brings us to today's video sponsor, US GoldMining, USGO. You can find their website and corporate presentation linked in the description box below. Alaska has long been an important area for Trump's administration. The governor of Alaska has visited US GoldMining's project and its estimated mineral resource. Whistler is the closest, largest undeveloped gold copper exploration project to the main population center of Anchorage. In addition to federal support at the state level couldn't be stronger. Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy is a strong proponent of economic growth and the infrastructure to support mining in his state, and he has personally visited the US gold mining project himself. The Whistler project mineral resource estimate comprises of 294 million tonnes at 0.68 grams per tonne, gold equivalent for 6.48 million ounces gold equivalent indicated, plus 198 million tonnes at 0.65 grams per tonne, gold equivalent for 4.16 million ounces of gold equivalent inferred. You should review US GoldMining's latest annual report on Form 10K and the technical report summary incorporated in it for information on the project and the mineral resource estimate. Do your own extensive research on US GoldMining, symbol USGO on the NASDAQ, my personal favourite Alaska play. Make sure you review US GoldMining's annual report and other filings with the SEC when you research this opportunity. Once again, thank you to US GoldMining for sponsoring today's video, and now back on with our main precious metal ramble. And so I do genuinely think, unfortunately, the world that we live in and the society that we live in is forever degrading almost to a point of not even appreciating what real money is and what real wealth is and what real exchange of goods for services and value. And it just doesn't, I don't think it computes for a lot of people these days. There's a huge, of course, like consumerism wave that's grown in this last half of the 20th century into the 21st century, and that's fueled a lot of this as well. Of course, stocks and shares and money and everything has to evolve over time. And if a global economy goes from having, 2-3 billion people as a population 100 years ago to having 8-9 billion people today, of course, there's going to be, more people, less money to go around in that sense. So there is a lot of change that's happened in the world over these last 100 years from, for example, exiting the gold standards and stuff. But gold is still this commodity, this global commodity that is sought after by nations, by big institutions, and there is a reason for that. It keeps things going, it keeps things safe. So from my own personal finance perspective, all I can do is take, some umbrage from that and go, hey, do you know what? If they're doing it, maybe I should be doing it. Now there comes a point, as I've said, if we're going to be completely honest about our own mortality, whether you're in the firm set of middle age like me, or whether perhaps you're a little bit closer to the latter stages of life, those golden years, shall we say, to coin a phrase, it is worth thinking about what you might want to achieve with your finances. And ultimately, we can't take it with us. You can hand it down to future generations. I've done videos on the subject of inheritance and passing gold down. It can be pretty tricky. It can be quite costly for people. And the last thing that you want is for your family to have to pay a stupidly large inheritance tax bill on the money that you've earned, you've paid tax on, and then you give away a bunch of gold, and then suddenly someone has to pay a tax bill when they receive that gold. There are other ways that you can look to mitigate inheritance tax costs here in the UK, but it does involve cashing out to this stuff. So if I'm being brutally honest, when I get to an age where I would perhaps want to cash out my gold because I want to pass on my wealth to the future generations of the backyard bullion household, I probably won't be handing down lots of gold. I'll probably cash it out for this stuff, and we'll use that money to live by, to retire by, to enjoy the things in life. And I think that's the message I want to kind of finish up on this video with, that enjoying one's life, enjoying one's existence on this planet, however short we're here for, however long we're here for, is the most important thing that I can think of. And that's definitely grown for me as a individual over the years. Certainly when you start having a family and you start sort of, I don't know, maturing and growing up a little bit, and you realize that we're not going to be here forever, and what we do in this world in a cosmic sense doesn't necessarily matter in terms of these finances. These are all just numbers on a screen almost, or physical coins in a little treasure chest that might help some future generations. But what I do think is that this stuff is better than this stuff. So whilst I'm still earning, whilst I'm still not kicking that proverbial bucket, whilst I'm kicking the stones down the road towards that bucket at the end, I will still enjoy gold and silver, and I'll still have gold and silver. Look at that Queenie hiding behind the dollar. All the conspiracy theorists are out now. There we go. There's Queen Elizabeth. Oh, we miss you. We miss you, Lizzie, on our coins. But case in point, mortality strikes home, and legacy lives on, I guess. But it is interesting to see where the land lies with gold. Prices are high right now. I know there are people who are cashing out. Where there are buyers, there are sellers, and people will be wanting to accumulate more. If I am being brutally honest right now, I feel like still buying gold is a good thing. And I have been buying gold. I've been buying sovereigns. I love sovereigns. I think they're great. I think sovereigns are one of the best coins that you can buy. How far into the future I'll buy, I don't know. Because one thing that I'll leave you with, if you're watching to the end, the best thing that you can do with gold is buy it, forget about it. Wait 10 years, and you'll be almost guaranteed to be, inverted commas, in profit. It's all relative to the value of the money in our wallets, of course. But you will have a good return. So maybe there'll be a point where I stop. Maybe there'll be a point where I just start to draw down on my gold. Will there be a point where I just go, all right, that's enough, sell it all, just take it into London, Hatton Garden Metals, big suitcase full of gold, walk out with a large amount of money in my bank account? I don't know. Maybe not. As I say, I don't think there'll be a time when I have no gold in my life. But I hope this ramble has opened maybe your thinking and your eyes to what could happen for you in your stacking journey. There are a lot of diehards out there, and I guess the phrase diehard is a good phrase to use, really, that they will never release their gold. Over my cold, dead hands, they will say. You can pry it out of those cold, dead fingers. And I think a lot of people probably would be in that camp and that sentiment. I wasn't there when I started my journey. I'll tell you this for now. I was not like that, or like I am now when I started. I was in this, for profit, for money, for going, well, if I can buy my gold at, £200 a coin and sell it for £250 a coin, I've made £50 a coin. That's more money in my bank account that I can use to buy the things that I want. But stacking has taught me so much more about what real wealth is, what real savings are, what money is, and what money can do for you, and how it can help you get to a stage in your life perhaps where you do want to slow down and enjoy this planet, this universe, this existence that we have, that we're blessed to have. And the world's pretty crazy right now. We can't ignore that fact as well. So there we go. Bit of sort of waxing lyrical here about the existence of everything, aren't I? Well, I think that's all I have to say on the matter. For you Cool Kids Club people who watched to the end of my video, where is it? Oh, it's hiding under here. We're going to get you to have a look at this coin here today, and we're going to get you to quote it, because this one I keep getting out. It's in my filming box, my APMEX filming box, where I have a little bit of gold at home that I can film with. And this has caught a lot of people's eye of late, and they want to know what it is. It's a 50 soles oro, so 50 soles oro from Peru. It's a Peruvian gold coin. It's 90% pure, and it is 33.436 grams. So your code to tell me that you are super cool is to quote me 33.436, and I will know you're cool. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the way out if you haven't done so already. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. And commenting down below for you Cool Kids Club, it really helps. More than you think, actually. And we're on a bit of a roll right now as YouTube goes. The views are up, subscribers are up, and everything else is going nicely as well. So thank you all, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.